We're just completing an acquisition of Westgold's Higginsville operations, and as a result, Mark couldn't make it, so I helped the company out as an advisor, so please bear with me. I'm not as astute as Mark is on all the operations, and I will make this fairly quick and high level just because there's not a lot of time. RNC started out as a company called Royal Nickel about 10 years ago, and the flagship asset was a nickel-cobalt asset in Quebec called Dumont. And really, truly, the best way to think about Dumont is almost as a detour gold-like operation that just happens to be nickel-driven. Currently, it's the second largest nickel reserve in the world, and it's the 9th largest cobalt reserve in the world. We own 28% of that. And really, truly, at the current share price and after the Father's Day vein discovery at Beta Hunt, I will argue and very, very confidently tell you that we're getting absolutely no value whatsoever for the nickel cobalt asset in Quebec. I will not be surprised. It's shovel ready. There's a new bankable feasibility study coming out probably in the next week or two on it. But this will become a majors asset probably in the next decade, and really all that's waiting right now for Dumont to be into production is a slightly higher nickel price, which is around $750. But what has transformed and made us now into something quite different is Beta Hunt, and Beta Hunt was owned by a company called Salt Lake Mining. It's in Kambalda and Kalgoorlie, and it's quite surprising how few people actually know what's going on with the company right now. Fully diluted, about 423 million shares outstanding. Cash on hand actually is closer to about 15 or 16 million now, and the share price is a bit lower, so the market cap is closer to 200 million. But I could justify that market cap almost on the nickel cobalt asset in Quebec. You can see a very vertical spike in our share price. The stock was trading at about 9 cents Canadian, and the market cap was sub $10 million. And our geologists had a working theory that underneath where the nickel had been mined at Beta Hunt, there could theoretically be another mineralized horizon that would have disseminated more nickel and gold. And lo and behold, when they actually intersected it, they hit, let's see, these specimens, 93 kilos and 60 kilos, both running about 40 to 50% gold. Those specimens are currently on auction and will be sold. But basically, it changed the entire look and feel of the company. The company was being bogged down by debt. We paid off all the debt, and now the mine is in a restart. It's on a run rate of probably close to 40,000 ounces per year this year. And with the Higginsville acquisition, we're going to drop our all-in sustaining cash costs by about 30 to 35%. So what happens and where do we go from here? And we don't have a lot of time to discuss it, but what I will tell you, and really oversimplify things, each one of these orange structures is a shear zone. And I sit on the board of a company called RNC Minerals in Canada, and the head geo discovered Meliadine, one of Agnico's flagship assets in Nunavut. They have a 7-kilometer long shear zone that now hosts 11 million ounces of close to 7 grams per ton. And why I use that as a metric, the Father's Day vein discovery was right around here. We've drilled out to the A-zone faults and intersected high grade as well, but we've literally barely scratched the surface of what these shear zones could be. Those shear zones, each shear zone is about 4 kilometers long. We have no clue the depth. We have no idea what the grade or the mineralization is at depth, and we have no idea whether or not the 2 outside shear zones also carry that high-grade gold. So from an investment perspective, and to really, truly just simplify the entire pitch for you guys, geology tends to repeat itself. You're never going to hit the Father's Day vein again and again and again. I mean, those are once-in-a-lifetime type discoveries. But if we actually do tag some high grade in those other 2 shears, you're looking at 16 kilometers of potential shear zone strike, all of which could run you between 3 and 5 grams per ton, but with really, really high grade kickers. So I don't really know of any other company in the world that has a 28% interest in the second largest nickel reserve in the world. It has the cobalt as well, but I really truly have no working knowledge of other companies that already have the mining infrastructure in place. So instead of actually making a discovery and then having to put $1 billion into it to put it into production, literally everything's already there. Each one of these shear zones has open pits operating above them. So literally, if I'm a betting man, I think this is probably a company that's taken out in the next couple of years, just because there's too much high grade, there's too much potential upside. There's a ramp that already takes you down, and you're in effectively one of the bigger mining jurisdictions, at least from a gold perspective, in Australia. I know I don't have too much more time from there. These are just pictures of the mineralization and a little bit of the history about how this went through. But maybe what I'll do now is just open it up to questions, because there is a lot of meat on this bone, and I don't know if anybody will have them prior to the 10 minutes being up, but why don't we fire away and see if we can field some questions.
Do we have any questions?
Come on, I'm not that good a presenter. You must have some. All right, look, well, if you don't, we will be listing in Australia probably in and around September 1st. We will be at Diggers. We will be really marketing this company now, especially that the Higginsville acquisition is coming in. So you're going to see effectively a company that's going to change almost on a dime here. And then also you have that massive exploration upside plus cash flow. It's a really unique opportunity, in my opinion.
Fantastic. Well, that's a very interesting story there. And I'm sure if you do have any more questions, please
just come to the booth, 20. Booth
grab them
20.
afterwards, or book a meeting at the front desk. But thank you very much, Russell.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Great presentation.